So guys, this topic is about, from there on we will be discussing the psychosexual theory of Sigmund Freud, which is the last part of this video series and this whole video. So in first part which I have covered is about the psychoanalysis, and mostly it's mostly about the finding of the unconscious mind of an individual, which contains unfulfilled desire or the repressed desires, and mostly the topic of that part was about the dreams and the dream analysis and all the other techniques like slip of tongue, parapraxis and etc. that happens to a person, which is used by the psychoanalytics for the interpretation of their unconscious mind. Second part of the video was about the erogenic zones, which was mostly about the psychosexual developmental stages of an organism, which was first the oral stage, the anal stage and phallic stage, latency stage and the puberty stage. So from now on we will be discussing a comprehensive detail of the psychosexual theory of Sigmund Freud, and in this topic we will be covering Oedipus Complex and the Castration complex as well. So starting from the project of psychoanalysis. So in the project of psychoanalysis put forward by Sigmund Freud, he describes that how a polymorphously perverse incest desiring animal or incest desiring individual develop into a self with firm sense of gender differentiation, with sexual desire and channeled into proper or subordinate to the reality principle. I have discussed reality in the first part of this video series. So the project of psychoanalysis tells us that how an incestuous individual which is mostly relying on his mother or her mother in the initial stages of his life or her life, is how it is converted into a non-incestuous reproductive or heterosexual individual. So how does one just leaves the first love of himself or herself? First love is the mother of an individual. So from now on I will be discussing that aspect. So psychoanalysis theory is about the how gendered and sexual self is formed. So main concern of this part of the video will be about the how a gendered and sexual self is formed and cured those who are not normal to the society, who are not normal to the reality principle. So in this slide, so in the next slide, Sigmund Freud's field of interest. What was Sigmund Freud's field of interest? He defines perversions as an expression or acting on the sexual desires that are socially inappropriate or abnormal or illegal. And neurosis, he tells us about a term, neurosis. What is neurosis? The derives that are repressed into the unconscious, that is called neurosis. So the drives, the pleasure principle that are repressed by the reality principle in the unconscious are called neurosis, and this process is called neurosis, and it is helpful so that the unconscious spends a lot of energy to stop them from coming back into the unconscious. Keep in mind this sentence that it takes, that the neurosis is a very powerful process. It is a very powerful process, that how a desire is from the conscious is put into the unconscious. It takes a lot of energy, and brain and the body provides such an energy to an individual to repress these desires into the unconscious mind, and that energy will be, that happens, and that energy is responsible for the several different condition in humans, which I will be discussing later in this video. So this energy which is spent, it does not allow, it stops the desires coming back to the conscious. Okay, so that was the neurosis and the energy which it uses. So such effort can end the energy when the energy which the unconscious uses to not allow the wishes into the conscious, that also causes hysteria, paranoia and obsession complexes, which I will discuss in the video later. So starting with Oedipus complex, it's not about what all the internet explains to you, so it's a new kind of version. It's not a new kind of version, it's a Sigmund Freud version, Oedipus complex. So what is the need of Oedipus complex? Why it happens to an individual? It constructs a properly gendered and sexual self it takes a person from incestuous relationship with mother to a normal, a properly gendered sexual individual. So what is sexual? So what happens? So at what stage Oedipus complex happens? It happens at the end of phallic stage and the polymorphously complex phase. All right. So it forces child into the latency stage. I have discussed latency stage in the second part of this video. You should watch that. Not of this video, it is uploaded in the description below. So the foundation of the Oedipus complex. So the foundation of Oedipus complex is about castration and penis envy. I will discuss that later as well. So both for males and females. So but both male and female have penis. Explanation, I will put an explanation here. Development stages, it's a development stage from incestuous to outside the family, exogamous individual. So so an individual starting its life from the relationship with mother to and then a transformation happens, and that person starts searching someone from outside the family for relationship and sexual desires. So that Oedipus complex forms sexual desires and it is from the state of nature to a civilized and cultural one. So what is the state, what is the natural state of individual sexual orientation? It is the incestuous one, which is happening at that person's childbirth, when that person is feeding on his mother or her mother's breast milk. So that is a state of nature, and then Oedipus complex happens and that person is transformed into a civilized or cultured state. So in Oedipus complex we will learn these 3 to 4 things. First is that how desires are repressed in the unconscious mind, how unconscious mind is formed. First thing we will learn from Oedipus complex. From Oedipus complex we will learn a second thing, that how girls and boys learn to desire outside families. Alright. Third is how they learn to desire for opposite sex. And fourth is how superego and the conscience or the reality principle is formed. So these 4 things will be covering into the Oedipus complex. So in this slide we will be discussing that how Oedipus complex is formed. So Oedipus complex is mostly about, so it is different in girls and boys. So alright, so what is masculine is active and what is feminine is passive. Alright, I have discussed that in earlier video, that about in Derrida's concept, in Derrida's video, the notion of center. You can watch that video, the link is given in the description. Derrida says that all the Western philosophy is formed on the binary pairs, binary oppositions. Alright, what is on the left side of the slash is superior and what is on the right side of the slash is inferior. So presence is superior to absence. Boys contain penis which is present in their body, which is visible in their body, and girls, they don't contain penis, they contain other things like clitoris and vagina, but penis is not visible in their body. So the penis is absent in women. So Sigmund Freud and Lacan says that, Jacques Lacan says that the women are inferior than men, and the women's sexual pleasure is passive, but men's sexual pleasure is active. I will also make a video on the criticism which feminist, post-structuralist feminists give to them, and you should watch that video as well. So both sexes are masculine. In the birth, both sexes are masculine according to the sexuality when they are infants. So both sexes, girls and boys both, they both operate on the laws of masculine pleasure. Alright, so they seek pleasure through masturbation. Whenever something touches their genital, they feel pleasure. So Sigmund Freud says that so far as the autoerotic and masturbatory manifestation of sexuality are concerned, we might lay it down that sexuality of little girls is of a wholly masculine character. I hope you understand that. Indeed, if we were able to give a more definite connotation to the concept of masculine and feminine, it would even be possible to maintain that libido is invariably and necessarily of a masculine nature. So he says that the sexuality and the libido and the pleasure of both girls and boys is masculine. So there is no difference between the sexual pleasure of girls and boys. Alright, so so he says further, whether it occurs in men or women, and irrespective of whether its object is a man or a woman, both are masculine. So it places a superiority of men or masculine in both the gender, which find a great criticism in the post-structuralist feminism. I will make a video on this topic as well. So he gives an explanation that why he says that the sexual parts and the pleasure in girls is as well masculine. Boys are masculine, yes it is admittable, but how the sexual parts and sexual pleasure is masculine in girls? He says that clitoris in females is a miniature penis, is a small kind of penis. Alright, and it is equal to the penis in boys. So what happens in puberty? In puberty, girls' masturbation, their desire for masturbation is repressed because of the cultural demand from a girl. She is not allowed to please herself or touch her body. So all cultures have a similar kind of laws about girls, that they cannot stimulate their clitoris for the sake of masturbation and sexual pleasure. There is a shame and kind of disgust attached to it, that how a girl becomes feminine or passive, or how that happens if a girl is, Sigmund Freud says, is masculine in pleasure, and a girl is masculine in pleasure and masculine in her genitals. So how girls become feminine and passive? So in puberty I will explain that. Yes, so in puberty stage in boys, they go on and on because there is no cultural boundary set for them. They can explore their sexuality openly. There is no repression happening for them. They can masturbate and they can talk about their genitals or their sexual desires anywhere. So they can just go on and they have a high libido because there is no repression happening in their body and in their society. So they can express that thing as completely, and that's why they have high libido. But there is more sexual repression in girls but excitement is more in boys. So the culture represses the desire in girls, but it enhances the desires in boys. So that happens in cultures. So at adult sexuality, clitoris stimulation and foreplay for pleasure or foreplay leads vaginal stimulation and reproductive and that leads to reproductive heterosexual intercourse that produces a new baby, a new individual. So the clitoris stimulation in girls, as to conclude this slide, so clitoris stimulation in girls is infantile. That infantiles mean it used to happen in their childhood, but not anymore, and that is neurotic and that is repressed. Neurotic means it is repressed. So clitoris stimulation is neurotic in girls. So that's the reason that why females are most prone to hysteria, because there is too much repression going on in girls. Alright, so the kind of frustration and hysteria and other kind of mental illnesses they face because of, Sigmund Freud says that it is all because of this repression, all because of this neurosis. They have to use much energy to keep their desire in the unconscious so that it does not fall back to the conscious. So that energy causes hysteria in girls. So female at puberty, they switch erogenic zones from clitoris to vagina. So clitoris is not allowed for them to stimulate, so and vagina is demanded. So cultures and societies demand girls' vagina because a penetration in it causes a reproduction. All right, and it's a place where a male get excited. So that's useful for society. So society allows the vaginal stimulation but not clitoris stimulation. So first thing is that they just leave. They have to leave their clitoris because there is a lot of cultural repression happening to her, and she switches her pleasure place from clitoris to vagina first, and in the but boys, all from their infant stage to adult till death, they stick to one penis, so there is no repression for them. Alright, so boys don't use that energy to repress their desires and fear not falling it back into the conscious, but girls require a lot of that. So that's why females are more prone to hysteria. Freud says again, the fact that women change their leading erogenic zones in this way, together with the wave of repression in puberty, which as it were put aside their childish masculinity, are the chief determinants of greater proneness of women to neurosis and especially to hysteria. These determinants, therefore, are intimately related to the essence of femininity. Alright, I hope you understand this quotation. I have explained that well. So in this slide, so I will explain you further cause of hysteria, because women don't only shift her pleasure organ but the love person as well. It's called double shifting. First she shift her pleasure organ, and second I will tell you in this slide. So women have to shift objects like from in the childhood, boys and girls both were fed by mother. You understand that? Both got aware of their anal, phallic and oral, anal and phallic zones. Alright, because of mother. Mother became their first love. In society, boys are allowed to marry or to have a sexual desire with females, so they stick to mother. But in societies, in cultures, girls are not supposed to love another woman, which can be their mother, just like boys. So in childhood, boys and girls both shared same object of love, which is their mother. But in adult males, they keep loving female, but in boys, the adult males, they keep loving female bodies as love object. So for them, but the only thing changes is the one female body to another female body, from mother to outside females. They just turn the relation, alright, from mother to body of another female bodies. But adult females shift their erotic attachment to male bodies to develop normally. So they change the whole gender. They change the love object, which is their mother, to a total 180-degree opposite gender, male. I hope you understand that. It's not a difficult concept. So it caused a double shifting. First, girls just switch their sexual organ, clitoris, to vagina, and second shift happened when they changed their sexual desire from one female to a male body. So this double neurosis or double shifting, so this double shifting or double repression requires a lot of energy. A lot of repression happened, so a lot of energy is required to keep this repression into the unconscious. So normal women are neurotic. So normal women are prone to hysteria and mental illnesses. So shifting happens through Oedipus Complex. I have tell you that the double shifting happens and that happens. So how that happens? It happens through Oedipus Complex. It happens at phallic stage, when boys and girls have same phallic organ, penis or clitoris. Alright, the children notice that there is something structural difference between the boy and the girl. That the boy have a long kind of thing, which is penis, and girl have short thing or don't have the long thing, it is clitoris. So boys present penis and girls absent penis. So before this revelation, before this knowing, that before this realization that they have penis and the other don't have, they were thinking, before all this, they both think that both are equal. So both are same things. So what do boys think of clitoris when they see a little girl, that why she don't have penis? he might think that perhaps it is cut by some authoritative or powerful person because of some punishment. Let me explain to you. So after seeing girl's clitoris or the lack of penis, boys think that they think for them it is a new knowledge. They think that someone has cut off girl's penis because of some punishment or because of some some crime they have done or some transgression or sin they have done. So someone has cut their penis, and someone may cut the boy's penis as well, but I will not do that sin. A boy think in his mind, I will not do this thing. I will resist that sin. So what happens in the Oedipus complex in boys? So at phallic stage, he discovers the phallic and genital masturbation. He wants to direct his genital desire to his mother because his first love is his mother, and so he wants to fulfill all his sexual desires from his mother. But he knows that his chief rival or his chief enemy in the house is his father. His father is the husband of his mother. So he will not let him do that. His father will not let the son or the boy do that, and he will cut his penis otherwise if the father caught him fulfilling sexual desires with his mother. So the boy want to get rid of his father and can marry, so that he can marry his mother, and which is his sexual possession. It is inspired from the Greek play by Sophocles, the Oedipus the king, Oedipus the tyrannus. So Oedipus complex in boys is about to kill the father and marry or fulfill the sexual or libidinal desire with mother. So after this Oedipus complex happens castration complex, which is very important. It says that the boy has directed all his sexual desires to his mother, but he has a hatred and an aggression towards his rival father. So it makes him think that the girl's castration, the girl's cutting off penis has happened because they had tried to commit the sexual, because the girl has tried to fulfill their sexual desire with the mother. So they think that as a punishment their father has cut their penis. So the boy start fearing his father, that his father will cut the penis, and he will know that the boy wants to kill me and marry his mother. So the castration complex is all about that. So in castration complex, in the last stages of castration complex, what happens that the little baby start choosing between his penis and the sexual desire with mother, and the boy desiring the mother and losing his penis. So he has to choose between these two things. So at the end of the Oedipus complex, the unconscious mind no longer desires mother because his penis is very important for him. He can find someone else for love, some other woman for love. But what if he does not have this penis? What will we do with that? Alright, so his sexual intercourse with mother is not the priority anymore. He wants to save his penis so that he can go on into the sexual intercourse with any other woman. So the superego is formed. How the superego is formed, or the conscious is formed, when the prohibition of behavior from society and laws inhibits the inhibition in the superego happens. So all the desires are repressed. All the desire for the boy, what was his desire? To marry or to have a sexual intercourse with his mother, but that desire is repressed because he has to save his penis. So his incestuous desires are no more, but these pleasures are repressed into the unconscious, but they can be found in neurosis, in sublimation, neurosis, in dreams, reaction formation, dreams, slip of tongue and jokes as well. So that happened into the mind of a boy. So there are three parts of the brain. First is the unconscious, second is the superego, and the third is the sense of self or the conscious, what a person does. So the boy or the son identify with father. So the boy think that the father is an authority, or what he does is a law. What the father does is a law. So he admits that his father is an authority if he want to, and the father has the authority to cut the boy's penis as well. So he is afraid of the authority of father, and he goes outside the home to find some other sexual partner for him. So that happens at the end of this Oedipus complex, and prohibition, the incest prohibition happens, and the boy behaves good. So it was all about the boy's sexual development, and now we'll be turning into the girl's sexual development. And it's complicated because double shifting happens, and because first from clitoris to vagina and then to mother to male body. How that all happens. Girls notice the boy's penis and they think that girls like it. Girls think that they like it. They don't have penis, and girls instantly, and they at that exact time they think that it is a lake that don't contain, it's an absence of penis. So they are not superior like boys. So penis is superior for them because it is present, and they don't have it, so they are inferior. They think like that. So penis envy happens. Why I don't have penis? That is a statement in their mind about penis, that is about penis envy, that why I don't have penis, and girls start wanting penis. But how that all happens? So there are different thought. The psychosis is happening that someday the girls will get it or accept it normal, accept her castration, that one day it will happen that they will think that not having penis is good, or it is normal as well, but they don't think it, and they are always about the they are always into the sense of inferiority, that they lack penis, and or might be they were committing some kind of punishment or some kind of sin. Perhaps they were doing masturbation and their father or someone has caught them and cut their penis, and they got furious at their mother for not giving them penis, because she doesn't have that as well. So their mother is inferior as well. So she start hating entire women's sex, including herself. So clitoris is inferior, but that gives her masturbation. And but in culture and societies there is a shame and disgust about the feel of masturbation. So girls don't do masturbation, but they do. So what is penis envy? The internalization of feminine inferiority comes in penis envy. They admit in their mind and their heart that they are inferior to boys because they don't have penis, and they they start loosening their bond with mother. They just start hating their mother, and here the bond between them, the girl and the mother, starts diminishing. That love bond which was when she was little and breastfeeding, and makes her father libidinal object, because she thinks that her father has penis, and her father will give her penis. So she cannot have, in this slide, so she cannot have that penis because she is born now, and all other girls don't have penis as well, but she will have a sexual intercourse with her father and will have a baby. So the baby will have a penis, alright, so her desire will be fulfilled with the baby. So instead they look at father as erotic object. They see as to their father as their father will fulfill their sexual desires, as to have a baby with father. So her mother becomes the rival and the jealous thing for her. So she start hating her mother. So we can say that in girls the negative Oedipus complex is happening. Alright, we can call the Oedipus complex of girls the negative Oedipus complex or feminine Oedipus complex. And when she desires her father and hate mother. So in this slide we will be giving the summary. I will be giving the summary between what is the sexual development for girls and boys. In first part, the castration complex happens, and it has already been carried out. Her penis is already cut. Alright, but in boys the castration complex has not been carried out yet, but he is afraid of that complex. So the boy realized that girls has no penis and thank that they have penis. And in second step, in the Oedipus complex in girls, they hate mothers and bear father's child and try and threat of, but the girls have threat of losing nothing because they have cut their penis is cut and they have lost everything, and there is no fear for them to lose anything. So they are fearless now, but boys are fearless, but boys are fearful, alright, because of the castration of their penis. So there is always a threat for them to because they will lose penis someday, and they are living a fearful life, but girls are not living a fearful life because they have lost everything. So what happens to girl? Why girls I will tell you that what happens to girls. The Oedipus complex is why the Oedipus complex is repressed. If they don't have any fear of losing anything else, then why they don't simply marry their fathers and have a sexual bond with fathers and bear their kids in societies nowadays? So they don't have the strong superego because there is nothing to repress in them. So no motive to repress forbidden desire because they don't have penis. Their penis is cut, so they are not afraid of anything else. So there is no motive for them to repress their desire of marrying with their father, but they do so. Why they do so? It's the reason is unknown. So reason for Sigmund Freud says, I don't say that. Sigmund Freud says that women has low morality because the thing in they have no morality, no reason or justice, because their superego is not strong. Alright, their desire may come up into the conscious anytime. Alright, so there is no castration anxiety. They are not fearful of something. So how women form their unconscious, how they repress their desire of marrying their father. Why they do so? Women unconscious wishes are less repressed and more likely to rise into the unconscious. So that's the reason Sigmund Freud says that women are not fit to rule and they cannot shape the civilization, and it's up to you to research about that thing. I don't believe in that. Might be any feminist theorist would answer it better. So in the last slide I will conclude the whole thing, that why do females want fathers in their husbands but boys don't want mother in their girlfriends and wives or someone they are fulfilling their sexual desires with? Why it's happening? Women always stays in Oedipus complex forever. They forever stays in the Oedipus complex. They are not going out of the Oedipus complex. They are always desiring about their father. But because nothing ends for them, no castration complex is happening for them, because their castration complex has happened before this Oedipus complex. So what worst can happen anymore to them? So they carry on desiring their fathers. They learn to become non-incestuous, but they end up marrying men who are like their father, or they find in husbands the qualities of their father. Feminist critics have to say a lot about Sigmund Freud's conclusion, about which I have covered in the last slide, that the women are not fit to rule or they are uncivilized like that. So at the end of the video I will say that Sigmund Freud points that women and girls and females are the dark continent. He cannot just simply discover them, what is happening in their mind. He just called them the dark continent. And that was all about the Sigmund Freud video. All the 3 parts has been uploaded on the YouTube channel of mine. Next video will be coming about Jacques Lacan, and hope that you will watch that video as well, so that you can understand the Sigmund Freud theory completely. Thank you.